underwhelming measurements of top offensive tackle prospect Will Campbell at the combine there, Mazz.
So when you just laid out that scenario, you said if you have long arms, it depends how you use them, or Vrabel said that.
Yep.
What if you have short arms and you don't know how to use them? Then what happens?
Bad combo.
So 32 and 5/8 scares me a little bit. I'm sorry. It just does. When you look at the data, when it comes to tackles and what the typical average arm length and wingspan and all that stuff, which I know we're going to get to. So at the end of the day, you're telling me I either have to take Joe Haggs at offensive tackle or Chris Forsberg on the defensive line.
And why is Mason Graham Chris Forsberg?
Well, he's skinny.
Undersized.
He's thin.
Got it.
Thin, on the thinner side. So I got to pick between one of those two, Joe Haggs or Forsberg. That's what it is at number 4. I got to take one of those two guys. That's what you're telling me?
And we say Joe Haggs because
short arm Joe Haggs.
He's on the squatter side. We did an interview with him once. I think he was on Zoom. It was a Bruins game after the
yes.
Marathon bombing, so not to make light of that, but, thoughts about being in the building, and Joe Haggs did something like, no terrorist is going to push me around.
Yes, correct.
With his little arms flailing around.
Waddling his, arms. He looks like he's, how do you explain it? Like he's trying to propel himself while he's sitting on the skateboard or something.
Like a little cartoon bulldog when they would walk like that.
Honestly, it's a Reentry Monday. We talk about everything. But my lead story, my favorite thing is this Will Campbell thing and how we were just saying this off the air. This is a massive human being. Huge. He's a door frame kind of guy. Guy called door frame guy, like Ted Johnson. He walks in that door and he fills up the whole door frame. Massive human being, an elite high-end athlete, going to be one of currently one of the elite people on the planet who does what he does with massive size, and we've turned him into an Oompa Loompa.
Yes, but so simple.
We've turned him into Howie. And Joe Haggs with the flailing arms. And yesterday morning, I'm not on Twitter, but I can only imagine, because just like in our text change with just amongst ourselves, I found myself yesterday cropping pictures of alligators with little alligator arms and people sending pictures of T-Rexes. And
there was a lot of that on Twitter.
Oh, my God, what we've turned this guy into.
Yeah, 6'5", 320. But again, we turned him into a walking fire hydrant because the arms aren't long enough.
What are your thoughts, Murray?
Look, if he turns out to be Joe Thuney, it's not good enough. Because you saw what happened with Joe Thuney when they tried to put him at left tackle in the Super Bowl. He was a turnstile. So I'm sorry, you need more. That means he's talented. Joe Thuney's a nice player. You need more than a nice player. You need real impact players. So I'm out on him. I'm out on him at 4. Like, if you ended up trading back and he fell a little bit and you wanted to get him there, fine. But you're not using the 4th overall pick on Will Campbell and his short arms. No thanks.
I'm with everyone who says you can't draft him.
If he's going to be a guard, no.
You specifically can't. You can't afford to go against the grain in your current state. Maybe another team in a stronger position, or with established personnel guys, or a team with a track record of success at the draft or otherwise, could say, another team in another place would have the luxury of saying, you all focus on the measurables. We know if the guy can play or not, and you all may think that he sucks, but we know what we're doing, and we're going to take him, and we'll be right. And there was a time, for a long time, where the Patriots could be that team, and there are certain teams right now that I think could be that team. Teams with the Eagles could do it, the Ravens could do it, maybe the Rams could do it, I don't know. Teams with really established front offices, track record of drafting, good team. They could sit there and go, you all make fun of his alligator arms. We know he can play. We're going to take him, and you can laugh if you want, but we'll be laughing at the end of the day. And you can't do that. You have drafted so poorly for so long, and your needs are so great, and you know the position you're in. And you have a new staff and ownership under siege, and rightfully so. And you're going to come in and take a guy, as Mazz said, well, let me just give you some details, okay? On his arm lengths, his arms did measure 32 and 5/8, just over 32 and a half. And I've cut all the following stuff from Boston.com, maybe Alex Barth on 98.5. I've forgotten where I cut and pasted all this stuff, so I'm sorry if I don't credit people properly. But let's just say from the internet. Players with his arm size have a tough time finding high-level success in the NFL, writes one report. There has not been a Pro Bowl or All-Pro offensive tackle with arm length shorter than 33 inches over the last 25 years via the data available from Mock Draftable. I don't know what that is. But according to Mock Draftable, there has not been a Pro Bowl, never mind All-Pro.
Low standard, right.
Hasn't been a Pro Bowl or All-Pro offensive tackle with an arm length shorter than 33 inches over the last 25 years. And you, in your current state, you're going to be the team that says, we got this. We're going to be the one that goes. You're not in a position to do it.
No shot.
You can't do it. Furthermore, 8 of the 11 offensive tackles named All-Pro since 2020 have had an arm length of at least 34 inches. And this is something that you're coming to find. Most teams believe starting left tackles should have an arm length of at least 34 inches. ESPN's Jeff Legwold recently noted. Okay, so it's out. We were going in with the
right, that 33 is the cutoff.
No. For a left tackle, it's really 34 because you're facing, pretty much better pass rushers on that blind side.
And just to be clear, we measured Murray's arms in here last week. Murray has longer arms than Will Campbell.
That's right.
His arm length, Campbell's arm length, would be in the 7th percentile of all offensive tackles, meaning he'll have one of the shortest arm lengths among offensive tackles in the entire sport once he's drafted. Furthermore, Campbell's 9.5-inch hand size would also be in the 13th percentile of all offensive tackles.
Short arms, small hands.
How about this one? Campbell's wingspan was measured at 77 3/8 inches. If Campbell plays offensive tackle in the NFL, that wingspan would be the shortest recorded for an offensive tackle at the Combine since at least 1999. Again,
Jesus.
according to Mock Draftable, whatever that is. You're not the team that can afford to do that. The Ravens could go in, given their track record of drafting, or the Eagles, and say, we don't look at measurables, we look at other things, and we've been proven right, and you all can have a circle session over his wingspan. We know we're good. You can't be the one that goes against the grain on this.
No, it's a good point because, again, if this was Howie Roseman and the Eagles and they had a top 10 pick and they took this short arm tackle, I'd be like, well, I mean, they've nailed every other pick, it feels like, in the last 5 years. Elliott Wolf and this group of clowns, no shot. You can't do it.
I mean, that's how I feel, too. I would take the D tackle and sign an offensive tackle is what I would do. This scares the crap out of me now. It scares the crap out of me. I don't want him anywhere near the Patriots. Plus his comments, and which I know, again, you're going to get to, not to keep jumping ahead of you. But the comments where he says, if I end up a guard, I end up a guard. I hear that and go, he knows he's a guard. I don't want a guard with the number 4 pick. I'm sorry, I don't.
He's out. Take him off the board. He's out. He's out.
I hope.
Unless the only way is if somehow you drop to 14 and he's sitting there. Then you can draft a combo guard at 14 and feel like, well, we're ahead of the game. He dropped because of this, but we know he can play. You'll do that crap.
If that happens,
Isaiah Wynn 2.0.
but if that happened, that would probably mean they have another first-round pick to use, too. So I would trust it there. You can't take him at 4. No.
So, here's the problem. As Mazz pointed out, the defensive lineman is Chris Forsberg. A little on the skin. He's Kevin Majori.
Yeah,
I'm not back there
much
today.
better,
Majori,
yes.
Yeah, look at Majori. That is, if you can get a shot of Majori, that's basic crap.
Seriously, majority, there he is.
Have a sandwich for Pete's sake,
He
kid.
turned sideways. You can't see him.
Jesus. This is from, and we'll spend a lot of time on the Herald story over the weekend. Tremendous bit of news gathering and nugget gathering. Nuggets in my face. Oh, my God. From Andrew Callahan and Doug Kyde over the weekend at the Herald. What a nugget palooza from the Combine. But as part of their reporting over the weekend, they say league sources currently view Will Campbell or Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham as the Patriots' likeliest selections at number 4. Inside the front office, evaluators are split on whether Miami quarterback Cam Ward and Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders could come off the board before the Patriots are on the clock. If they do, the Patriots can pick one of the top 2 consensus prospects in the draft, receiver corner Travis Hunter and Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter. A few league evaluators see a drop-off after the best 8 to 10 prospects, underscoring any possible trade back for the Patriots should not send them outside the top 10. If the Patriots do trade back, keep an eye on Arizona wideout.
Teteroya McMillan.
Teteroya McMillan, according to a source, McMillan, the best receiver prospect in this class, is well regarded by a lead Patriots decision maker.
I know how much you love that.
Oh, boy.
You guys, this guy scares you guys. I don't mind him, but I wouldn't take him at 5.
And another evaluator believes they can control the draft by trading back from number 4, assuming they land enough free agents. Okay. The problem is everyone wants to trade back. The draft sucks. The draft sucks. This is why, this is what everyone said going into it, and now coming out of the combine, you know why. The best offensive tackle prospect's probably not a tackle because he's undersized in key measurables. The best defensive line prospect is undersized. So you're, on most years, you're not drafting an O tackle or a D tackle at number 4 who have these measurables. So everyone knows it. And the quarterbacks are reaches. So the draft stinks. And everyone knows it. Everyone's going to want to trade back. You're not going to get good value trading back. You're not going to trade back. Here's another prediction. The Felger mock draft 1.0 stands. You're stuck at 4. You want to move back. Of course you do. Everyone does. You're not going to. So now you're going to be stuck there with a choice of imperfect guys. I think Hunter and Abdul Carter will be gone. Just my prediction. I think the quarterbacks and those 2 guys will be gone. Or no, I'm sorry. One of the quarterbacks, okay? So you'll be stuck at 4. Maybe a team wants to get stupid and trade up for one of the quarterbacks. But otherwise, no one's moving. No one's moving down. No one's moving up because the draft blows. Why waste your resources? So now you're going to be stuck there with the choice of imperfect choices. And to me, the defensive tackle is the one that still makes the most sense to me. And that's where you're going to be stuck, Mason Graham.
I mean, honestly, I would do that. I would take him over Campbell. I just think there's less margin for error, and you can always feed him.
This poor guy. That's right. You can feed Mason Graham. The Will Campbell. I mean, I would like to think he was walking around with 5-gallon jugs of water all week. You know what I mean? Like stretching out
those babies out,
or hanging from door frames, or whatever they do. Yeah, Bedard was reporting that his arms actually measured more last year at LSU, which is either a faulty measurement or they beefed up the numbers, which is probably the case, or I don't think he shrunk, but it's just listening to Zoe, like even his shoulder, the wingspan, that wingspan number.
What did you say? It was the lowest in 25 years?
You can't draft a guy with that wingspan. Campbell's wingspan was measured at 77 3/8 inches. If Campbell plays offensive tackle in the NFL, that wingspan would be the shortest recorded for an offensive tackle at the Combine since at least 1999.
At least.
According to Mock Draftable. So they just stopped this century.
Right, which means they're still in the process of researching it.
You can't be the team that does that. You're not in a position to do it. You're just not. Others are. There was a time you were that you could ignore those measurables, go against the grain, be proven right, and if you're proven wrong, you're in fine position. You're still a contending team, and it's a worthy gamble for you. You're not in a position to do that. You can't basically go a half decade of just coming up empty at the draft, and then be the one team that says, nope, we're going to take a kid who's got the shortest wingspan in 25 years and be proven right. You're just not in position to do it. They're not going to do it. Take him off the board. It's over. The Will Campbell thing, over. Done. Mason Graham, I still think is a real possibility.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.